I'm Justin Moore. Welcome to Creator Wizard, your step-by-step guide to the business of being a creator. Today, I'm going to talk about how to properly manage the money you're making from being an influencer. Whether you're just making a few bucks here and there or starting to make some serious income, the tips I'm going to share will help you achieve your financial goals. So let's get into it. In this video, you're going to learn why making money from YouTube or Instagram is a uniquely profitable business, how to save thousands of dollars through tax deductions, why growing your team can actually make you more money than it costs you to hire them, how to create your own insurance and retirement plans through your creator business, and why spending 100% of your time on your superpower will maximize your profits. Before we get started, if you want insider tips on how to grow your business as a creator and diversify your income, click the link in the description to join our free newsletter, and you'll get a downloadable checklist of all the influencer money management tips we discussed in this video. I also just want to give a disclaimer that I'm not a CFP or a CPA or a lawyer, and a lot of the information will be geared towards creators in the United States. So for advice on your specific financial situation, it's always best to consult a professional in your area. First, let's talk about why making money from YouTube or Instagram is a uniquely profitable business. So at the very basics, every business, whether it's offline or online, has revenue and it has expenses, right? Revenue is the money you make from selling something, and expenses are what you have to invest in to be able to make that revenue, right? So for example, think of a brick and mortar business like an ice cream shop. Let's say that the main revenue driver is a single scoop ice cream cone. So what expenses do you think that business has in order to be able to make that sale? So you've got the ingredients to make the ice cream, to buy the cones, to buy ice cream making equipment. You've got to pay someone to make the ice cream unless you're going to do it yourself. You've got to pay rent on the property. You've got to pay insurance on the business itself, workers' compensation insurance for the employees. I could go on, but I think you get the idea. Okay, but you're probably thinking that's a complicated business, right? What about like an Etsy store that sells personalized baby clothes? Okay, that's a considerably simpler business, but you still have to buy the blank baby clothes, the stencils, any materials to adhere the personalized decal. Maybe you have to eat the shipping costs if you offer like free shipping and so on. So your profit is the difference between what it costs you to make and transport that product and the price that you sell it at. It's simple, right? Now think about a YouTuber or an Instagrammer or a TikToker. What product do they sell? Is content a product? You better believe it is, right? Like putting aside premium content like a course that an influencer can charge money for, creators can monetize their content directly, like with YouTube AdSense or through things like brand deals. But what are their expenses? I mean, putting aside the upfront costs of like buying a camera or a microphone or maybe editing software, you can probably see pretty quickly that basically all of the money that you make from monetizing your content is pure profit. That is incredibly powerful. There are not a lot of other businesses out there like that. And the other powerful thing is that the better you get at making content and the more eyeballs you gain, the more money you'll make, even though you're still basically doing the same amount of work to film the video, edit it, distribute it, and so on, right? So once you tap into a content formula that seems like it's working, the real question is how can you throw gasoline on that fire and ensure that it remains as profitable as possible? So let's talk about something that every creator can do, regardless of how much money you're making. So even if you make like $100 the whole year, you need to be deducting all of your business expenses on your taxes. So that means production equipment like a camera, a microphone, any software you're paying for, your internet bill. You know, if you shoot your videos on your phone bill. Do you rent and have a dedicated place in your home where you create content? I mean, you better be deducting that as a home office. Now, there are some things that you don't want to do that increase your risk of getting audited, like deducting your car and your gas, unless you're actually using your car for that specific purpose to drive all over and like create content. But there are so many things that you can deduct that are legitimate business expenses of being a creator. Again, you want to talk to your tax professional professional about all the different things, but you could be paying thousands of dollars more every year for absolutely no reason. And going along with that, you need to keep your receipts, right? Whether that's physically, like in a file cabinet, or taking pictures on your phone. Make sure that you have access to all of those things in the event that you'll ever need to show proof of those expenses. You know, when my wife and I first started as creators over 10 years ago, I would just use like a simple spreadsheet to track revenue and all of our expenses, but that quickly became pretty unmanageable. So I upgraded to a bookkeeping software like QuickBooks. You know, I know that may seem a little daunting, but it's honestly super easy and pretty inexpensive. And you can automatically sync your bank accounts and your credit cards to have all of your transactions get pulled in. It also makes doing your taxes super easy because you have everything in one place. Another important money management tip for influencers is that you need to have separate bank accounts for your personal and your business finances. One misconception is that you need to have a formal business entity like an LLC or an S Corp to be able to have a business checking account. And that's not true. You can be a sole proprietor and have a business account. But by the way, if you want more information about when you need to create an LLC or an S Corp, or whether you can stay a sole proprietor as a creator, click my video here or in the description box for all the details. Anyways, back to bank accounts. So the last thing that you want to do is co-mingle your finances, which is just a fancy way of saying mixing your money together so it's impossible to tell which expenses are personal and which are business, which, by the way, is another great way to get audited. So I want you to take action. If you haven't done this already, go down to your bank or your local credit union and just tell them that you want to open a business checking account. You can open it in your name with a DBA or like a doing business as, the name of your channel, your platform, and just start collecting all of the revenue from your social media in those accounts. And also the next time you buy anything related to your creator business, make sure that the money comes out of that account. So another way to get more profitability out of your creator business is to grow your team. I know this seems counterintuitive because you're thinking, wait a minute, if I have to hire someone, I have to pay them, right? Well, that's because you're looking at hiring as what's called a cost center, when in reality, if you hire the right person, you will actually unlock your time to spend on the most profitable parts of your business. So for example, if you're a YouTuber and you hired a video editor and you just focused on shooting content, could you make 2 times as many videos? How about 3 times? What would that mean for your viewership? If your views start going up and you make more money on AdSense, or if you can charge more for brand deals, right, you get the idea. Your job as a content creator and a business owner is to find what your superpower is and spend the most time you possibly can doing that one thing. In my experience, most people spend about 10% of their time doing the thing that is their superpower and 90% of the time doing stuff that really should be delegated to others. What would happen if you could spend 50% of your time doing that thing? What about 75%? What about 100% of your time? I mean, it's a process, right? I mean, you're not going to get there overnight, but little by little over time, as you bring more and more people onto your team that help you concentrate on what you're best at, you'll be able to unlock unlimited earning potential and maximize the profit from your creator business. So let's talk about some other cost-saving tactics. So one of the challenges of being a creator and being self-employed is that you don't have as many of the perks of a 9-to-5, like medical insurance or a retirement account or like retirement matching, right? Wrong. So if you have, let's say, an LLC, and let's say both you and your partner are employees of the business taking a payroll, you can apply to get a small business health insurance plan. In many states, all you need is at least 2 employees to qualify for those types of plans, and they can actually be more affordable than paying out of pocket. Also, you can create a retirement plan for your creator business. So for example, we have something called a solo K, which is basically what it sounds like. It's an individual 401k, and what you can do to save on taxes is pretty mind-blowing. So again, I'd strongly recommend getting the help of a financial professional to set this up. But basically what you can do is have a retirement plan where your company essentially matches 100% of your deferral. So if you're contributing, let's say 15% of your paychecks that you're paying yourself, you can have your company match that 100% to go into your retirement account, which is completely tax-free. And that can add up really quickly to thousands of dollars in tax-free savings every year. Another money management tip that's not discussed very often in the lens of being a creator is having disability insurance. A lot of people have life insurance, sometimes through their 9-to-5 or separately, but the chances of you dying are way smaller than getting injured or handicapped to the point where you're unable to make an income from being a creator anymore. Especially if you have people in your life relying on you for their livelihood, you may want to look into getting having disability insurance. Again, a lot of people view this as a cost, but for a relatively affordable amount every month, you can hedge against the worst case scenario. Look, your responsibility as a business person is to game all possible scenarios. What is the best case scenario? What is the worst case? What if my viewership declines or I stop making as much money from brand deals? What if my business accelerates and I start making tons of money? How am I going to invest that? If you take that objective approach and start analyzing all the different parts of your business, chances are you're going to start getting pretty excited about all the different opportunities and, of course, challenges for you to tackle. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I would love for you to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be alerted every time I upload a new video. Please leave a comment down below if you have any questions for me to answer or future video ideas, and you are one step closer to becoming a creator wizard. Don't forget, if you want insider tips on how to grow your business as a creator and diversify your income, click the link in the description to join our free newsletter. You'll get exclusive videos, worksheets, and insights on the influencer marketing landscape, access to special product discounts, first look at upcoming courses, and more.